Hi, everyone. This is Don Ross coming to you from my little recording studio on Prince Edward Island. And for those of you who don't know where that is, PEI is a little island province off the east coast of Canada. So if you go almost all the way east that you can in Canada, maybe Newfoundland is about the only other place east of here. If you go to Nova Scotia and cross the Northumberland Strait, you'll see us there. It's a tiny little place, barely can see it on the map most of the time. But my wife grew up here, and my wife, Brooke Miller. And about 6 months ago, we decided that we would come here and live here permanently. And it's just been the smartest move. We love it. So this is where the magic happens here. It's my little studio, and I record my music here. I also, most of where all the heavy lifting happens is where you can't see it. There's a whole bank of networked computers, 4 of them, and a whole bunch of computer screens all over the place because I do a lot of film score work these days, which has been an amazing transition. I love it, especially during COVID. It was just the best thing ever. And so mostly I'm performing either online or very occasionally here on PEI because we're pretty much COVID free here. We've managed to keep the COVID at bay because we're very sensible people. Anyway, enough said. I'm going to start with a tune that I wrote. Strangely enough, it was the day that Eddie Van Halen passed away. And I was about halfway through writing this tune, and I thought I would check out the news headlines, and I saw that he had passed. And so sort of with him in mind, I decided to write the rest of the tune. Now, honestly, Eddie Van Halen was not a huge influence on my guitar playing or my compositions, but I always had a huge respect for the guy and thought he was a great musician, great guitarist. But you won't hear any shades of the Billie Jean guitar solo or anything like that on this tune. Or no, it's the Beat It guitar solo on this tune. But maybe about halfway through, you'll hear some of the tapping work I do a little bit of. Don't overdo it. But anyway, maybe that's my little doff of the cap to him. All right, so this is called As Eddie Leaves the Building. It's my latest single. Yeah, as Eddie leaves the building. That's what that tune's called. Yeah, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thanks to everybody at True Fire and everyone else who is involved in the organization of this. It's a great idea. And I know that this is going to get a lot of eyeballs, so hello to everyone around the world. I'd like to continue with a tune of mine here on the East Coast. My wife and I lived in Nova Scotia for a bunch of years, and when we first moved to Nova Scotia from central Canada, it was a little tiny bit of a culture shock because it's you go from big cities to much smaller cities and a different culture. Like the East Coast of Canada, the English-speaking culture in the East Coast of Canada is very different from central Canada or even Western Canada. The dialect is different, and people have much more of an almost Irish way of talking or a Scottish way of talking. The European settlers came to the East Coast of Canada much earlier, and they retained a lot of their sort of cultural specificities, I guess, and a lot of East Coasters have this way of talking like this, and so they also have funny ways of saying things. So my wife and I were walking down the street in Halifax, and we saw this really great handwritten sign on a bank window. The bank was trying to encourage people to open new accounts, and it said, open a new account today and get a free hot dog and a cup of pop. And I thought, that is so East Coast, a cup of pop. And of course, instead of giving you like a toaster or something like that, they're giving you a hot dog, there you go. So I wrote this tune and called it Cup of Pop. And just for a larf. But I wrote the tune in Panama, of all places. Speaking of Eddie Van Halen. Anyway, the last tune, for those of you who are interested, the last tune was in kind of an adapted E-flat kind of tuning. Like the bottom string's an E-flat, the fifth string's an A-flat. So those two are down a semitone from normal tuning. So instead of E and A, they're down to E-flat and A-flat. Then the fourth string is up to an E-flat. So it's actually an octave higher than the bottom string now. Okay? So you have like 1, 4, 1 in E flat. And then the top three strings, the third string is it's an F. Yeah. And then the second string is a B flat. And the first string is a D. So you end up with like a little B flat chord on the top. It's a B flat major chord. So if you put your finger across one of the frets anywhere, you'll get a major chord. Anywhere you want. So if you do this in this tuning, like you get an E flat chord, And then at one point I did like there. I did it better when I played it. And that becomes like an A flat chord. Anyway, little aside for those who are into tunings. This next piece is in almost the identical tuning. The only difference is the fifth string goes down a semitone to G. So, right there. So now we end up with actually a more identifiable chord. It's an E flat, but it's got a D and a G in it as well. So it's a D and an F. So it's an E flat major ninth chord. Cool, eh? And then in the middle of the tune, you'll hear me retune the bottom string and back up again. So that I might completely blow that, but we'll see. Anyway, this is called Cup of Pop. Wow, I haven't played that in a while. That one, even at the best of times, is one of those tunes where almost anything can happen. And that time, almost anything did. Anyway, so yeah, like I say, it's an E flat major ninth tuning, and then partway through, I go a tune down to C. Now, those of you who are theory nerds will remember that E flat major, its relative minor is C minor. So by tuning that string down to C, you end up with a C minor chord of some sort. And in this particular case, again, I won't bother explaining why because it takes too long, but it's a C minor 11th chord you end up with, which is a fantastic chord. It's got 6 different pitch classes in it, and you don't get to repeat any of them. It's so unusual that a guitar ends up being able to play 6 different pitch classes. It's the kind of thing that I think about way too much. Anyway, I'm going to play one more tune for you, and once again, thanks to everybody at TrueFire, JamPlay, everywhere. It's been a real pleasure to take part in this, and enjoy the music. Of course, you can always send tips to my PayPal. I really appreciate that. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Here's a tune that I originally wrote as a demo for Swedish House Mafia. Believe it or not, that is the truth. The EDM band. They wrote to me and asked if I would demo some ideas for a duet album that Axwell and Sebastian Ingrosso were going to be putting out. So I submitted a few demos, and they really seemed to like this one. But the album eventually came out, and I didn't hear it on there, but that's okay. It was still a charge to be asked, I gotta say. Just want to get this just right, because it's a bit of a finicky tune for tuning. Anyway. So, for no particular reason, this tune is called A Million Brazilian Civilians. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you soon. My name is Don Ross. Out of practice. It's what happens when you go through a pandemic for a year and a half. There it is. Now I remember. Live music. That was A Million Brazilian Civilians. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.